Nom Nom delivers fresh food with whole ingredients backed by veterinarian science. Science tells us that a dog's health starts in the bowl, so improving their diet is one of the best ways to help them live a long and happy life. Nom Nom's food is full of proteins your dog loves and the vitamins and nutrients they need to thrive. All you have to do is order, pour, and serve. Ready to make the switch to fresh? Order Nom Nom today. Go to https://trynom.com/curveball and get 50% off your first order plus free shipping. That's https://trynom.com/curveball. Plus, Nom Nom comes with a money-back guarantee. If your dog's tail isn't wagging within 30 days, Nom Nom will refund your first order. No fillers, no nonsense, just Nom Nom. Welcome to the Living the Dream podcast with Curveball. If you believe, you can achieve. Welcome to the Living the Dream with Curveball podcast, a show where I interview guests that teach, motivate, and inspire. Today, I am joined by author, coach, speaker, and motivator, Tony Jacobsen. Tony spreads the unbreakable message. Tony has a rare disorder that causes his bones to be brittle. He has had 75 fractures and 12 surgical procedures, but he has bounced back from all that, and he wants to spread the unbreakable message and teach you and I how to be unbreakable just like he is. So, Tony, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Curtis, for having me today. I really appreciate it. And hello to everyone listening.
Absolutely. Great to have you. Why don't you start off by telling everybody a little bit about yourself?
Well, gosh, your introduction was pretty succinct, but I'll go back a little bit. My name is Tony Jacobsen, and I am an author, speaker, motivator, and coach, and I do all sorts of things in life. Right now, I'm an adaptive fitness coach, and I run an online platform and do one-on-one coaching, and I'm working on my next book, actually. I've written a book, but it wasn't always that way. You know, as you said in your introduction, I was born with a rare disorder that makes my bones brittle, and I've been breaking bones, you know, mostly when I was a kid. That's when most of the fractures happened. And, you know, through that, I lived a life of, you know, a lot of fear and hesitation and not being too physical because I was afraid of breaking my bones all the time. So, you know, it got to a point where I was really unhealthy, and, you know, I had to do something. I had to flip the switch. I had to learn how to embrace this disability to get and stay healthy, and I was able to do it. So through all that and through my transformation, you know, it's my mission to now help others do the same. And that's what I'm doing with my book and with my speaking engagements and my coaching. You know, I'm just out here motivating folks, trying to get them to be unbreakable.
Well, that's the way to do it. So explain to people about your rare disorder. Explain. I didn't even want to try to attempt the name, but I know you can do it. So tell us the name and tell us what it is, and tell us how common or rare it is in people, if you have any statistics on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm cracking open my book right now because I have stats on it. And it is really an interesting disorder. It's called osteogenesis imperfecta. And go ahead and say that 5 times fast, right? Basically, it breaks down to formation of bone, and imperfecta is imperfect. So the actual formation of the bone is not right. The actual DNA structure and the collagen structure of the bone isn't right. So it makes it fragile. Now, there are all different types of OI. First of all, it is very rare. And I'm going to drop the statistic really quickly. It only affects 25,000. It's somewhere between 25,000 and 40,000 persons in the United States. So for a disease or a disorder to be rare, it has to be under 200,000. So you can see we're clearly within that number. So it's a very rare disorder. And there's all different types. There's actually right now, there's like 16 or 18 different types that have been classified. And they're all different severities. Now, they don't go in order where it's like type 1, which is what I have, is a mild form of it. Type 2 is actually a lethal form. Like some people are not born if they have type 3 is more severe, and then type 4 is again like a moderate type. And then 5, 6, 7, and beyond, those are all different severity types of OI. So it doesn't go in order from 1 to 18 as far as how bad you may have it. But it's very rare. It's a very small community of us that are out there, but we are making noise. We celebrate every single year called OI Awareness Week at the beginning of May, and a special day we do on May 6th every year. It's called Wishbone Day, and we all get together and we do events together virtually and in person, and we also spread the awareness. So it's an important thing to do no matter what disorder you may have. Even if it's we see a lot of the bigger diseases and disorders out there, they have their days, but for rare disorders, it's very important for a community to get together and kind of get out there and voice it. So that's what OI is. It is fragile bones. But I did want to add this to it. It is a collagen disorder. So that means that it doesn't only affect the bones, it affects everything in the body, because everything in the body, all the organs in our body have collagen in it. So it affects everything, and it can have adverse effects on different body parts. So some OIers have difficulty with their hearts or with their lungs, and other different parts of their bodies. So it's a collagen disorder, but the main symptom is broken bones. And there's many of us that have broken. There's many people that have broken more than me, some in the hundreds, and some people that have only broken maybe a couple times in their lives. But again, it's the full spectrum of broken bones. But that's what OI is: osteogenesis imperfecta.
So is this like a genetic or hereditary or?
Yes, so it is a genetic disorder. It is passed down. However, there are spontaneous mutations of it, which I am. As far as I know right now, there's nobody in my heritage that is classified with OI. So as far as I know, I'm a spontaneous mutation, and there are a lot of us within the OI community, but it is hereditary, and there's a 50-50 chance of basically passing it down to your children if you do have children.
Okay, so you had 12 surgical procedures. So
Mhm.
tell us about those procedures and why you had to have them.
Well, the first ones started when I was younger, when I was a kid, because I started breaking when I was about 16 months old. That's when I broke my leg for the first time. And then after that, I was basically breaking every, I would say, 3 to 6 months, my leg, an arm, mostly in my legs though. And then eventually, I had a couple surgeries once I reached toddler age to get the bones straightened out. And then finally, I would say I was about 7 or 8 years old, and they started to put pins in my leg to hold the bone together, not only to make it stronger, but to give it the opportunity, if I did have a fracture, if I did break, then it wouldn't break as severe without the pin. So what they do is they basically take a steel rod and they put it, shish kebab it down the bone. So it goes all the way down. I have it in both of my femurs, the top part of my leg, and both of my tibias, the shin bones in my leg. So I have rods going down all four of those bones. And most of the procedures that I had were either to get a new pin. So I had four for sure, getting them put in the first time. But then as I was growing, they had to change them out. And so there was a few of those that were changing out the pin and putting in new ones. And even one I had, because I had broken my leg and I bent the actual pin. The fracture was so severe that it bent the pin. So they had to go in and take that one out and put a new one in. And that was the last surgery I had. And that's when I was 24 years old.
Okay, well, you also had some health issues when you were 42 years old. You want to tell the listeners about that?
Yes, absolutely. at 24 years old, when I had that last surgery, it was really exciting because before that, I had used a wheelchair, and then I had started walking on crutches like in my teens. And then after I had that surgery when I was 24, I was so excited because I was actually able to start walking on my own. And so without any assistance. So it was so exciting. But the only issue with that, because you would think that I'd be set, right? But I wasn't, because since I was scared of being physical and breaking more, I didn't do anything physical. So the next 20 years of my life after that were spent very sedentary, not doing anything too physical. And what ended up happening is my health beyond the disability went downhill. So when I was coming up on 40, it was like, man, I'm really out of shape. And so, right after my 40th birthday and then my 41st birthday, I wasn't feeling good. I was very out of shape. I was, probably 40 pounds overweight. I could walk, but with pain. I had pain all the time in my legs and in my back, and just feeling unhealthy. And finally, I started having pains in my stomach. So I went to the doctor and I had some tests done, and I had an EKG done on my heart because he was, concerned with the overweight issue that I was having. So he took the EKG. Doctor comes back and he says, "Oh, it looks like you might have had a small heart attack." And so I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is it. I can't go out like this. I need to do something. I can't die young." I didn't want to die. So I needed to figure out something. I needed to figure out how to get healthier, and finally figure out how to do it with my disability, because I knew that, exercise and working out is the exact opposite of having brittle bones. You always think, I can't lift weights, I can't run, I can't do anything. I have to be very careful, so I can't do anything. But I had to change that. I had to change that in my mind. I had to really dig deep and figure out what I could do in the most proper way. So it was a journey. It was about, I would say, 6 months after I got that kind of diagnosis of this heart attack that I finally flipped the switch in my mind and said, "You know what? I'm going to start working out." And then I just went in and I started working out. But it was with a plan, and it was with a trainer, and it was with a very focused mindset on how do I do this the right way.
Okay, well, I know in the beginning, you mentioned that you were an adaptive fitness coach. So tell us exactly what an adaptive fitness coach is.
Well, an adaptive fitness coach is a coach that assists and helps people with disabilities or limited mobility to take fitness and help them take the fitness to where they're at, so that they can do the exercises and do the workouts and learn how to properly exercise. And that's exactly how I did it. And that's why I really wanted to go into this, because after my transformation working with a coach, now my coach wasn't an adaptive fitness coach. He was just a regular fitness coach. And he was able to get me through my process to where I actually started being fit. But after I finished my transformation, I was so excited to help others. And I saw other people with disabilities like mine, and more severe disabilities, the folks that use wheelchairs or use mobility devices, and I wanted to help them. So being an adaptive fitness coach, it allows me the opportunity to say, hey, what equipment is available for somebody that may have a disability, that can't do an exercise a certain way, like what we say, quote unquote, normal is, right? So I find ways to adapt the exercises to meet people where they're at, so that they can actually start to move. And it's a really important skill to have, because then we can get people moving in the proper way.
So I know in your bio, you mentioned that you have resources to help people spread the unbreakable message. First off, tell us how you came up with that phrase, and next, tell us about those resources.
Yeah, well, definitely, being unbreakable, hashtag unbreakable is what it's all about. I always say hashtag, and I always say it's all capital letters because hashtag makes it easy to find, and all caps because there's no other way to be full out all the time. And so Unbreakable came about because, I realized that even though I've broken a lot through my life, I've learned a lot on how to kind of redefine who I am through those broken moments so that as I face new challenges in life, I'm unbreakable. I learn new ways to face challenges, and it's been so exciting to kind of have that message out there and really teach people that you can be you're more powerful than you think. You're more powerful than you think, and it really starts with our mindset, as it did with me. So it's all about building an unbreakable body. It's about building an unbreakable mind, so that we can really take those unfortunate times where we may break in life, because I'm not saying we won't break, but it's all about knowing how to, again, redefine who you are so that you can face challenges in a new way and be unbreakable. So that's what the message is all about. And the main resource that I have right now is for people to come read my book. It's called Disable Your Disability, Live the Healthy Life You Deserve. And it documents my fitness journey, and it talks about how I got fit and started doing things physically that I never thought possible, like running and jumping. I started doing box jumps and running in a 5K. So, it really talks about and documents my journey. And that's the first half of the book. And then the second half of the book is an actual how to. I give you actual resources in the book and ways, surefire ways to start getting and staying healthy. So we go through mindset, we talk about ways to eat, we talk about proper fitness, and we talk about the aftermath and how to stay motivated. So the main resource is Disable Your Disability, Live the Healthy Life You Deserve. It's available in paperback, hardcover, audiobook, ebook. It's available everywhere. You can come to my website. That's the best place to find it, TonyJacobsen.com. And I've got a lot of other resources on my website. I've got some online courses. I've got a adaptive fitness platform that is growing every single day, where you come and you do live workouts with me, and you do workouts on demand, all follow along workouts. So we got a bunch of great folks in there. And I'm going to be launching some live classes via Zoom soon. So, there's a lots of great things. You got to come to the website. That's where all of the resources are.
Well, that was my next question. What else are you working on that people need to know about?
Yeah, well, gosh, the classes that are coming, I've got a class called Get and Stay Healthy with a Disability or Limited Mobility, and that's really for beginners who want to get into a live class with me, a live interactive class where you can jump into the Zoom room with me, and I'm going to go through some of the points through the book, and then we're going to do a Q&A. So that class is going to be jumping off, and then I have a brand new class coming in July, which is called Writing Your Disability Story. And so since I know how to write a book, I know how to tell the story, I'm going to help other people with disabilities tell their stories now, because especially in today's day and age, diversity, inclusion, awareness, acceptance, these are taking center stage. And it's time right now for more people with disabilities to share their story. But a lot of us don't know how to do it. So I'm going to actually do this class. Again, it's an interactive class where we're going to go through the method of how to find your story and how to tell your story to be most impactful, so you can make an impact and make connection. So those are two of the bigger things coming. And then, of course, I'm working on my next book now. So that's going to be coming near the end of the year, the beginning of 2024. So I'm so excited for that.
Okay, so TonyJacobsen.com. We already gave out the website, so close us out with some final thoughts. Maybe if that was something that I forgot to touch on that you would like to talk about, or just any final thoughts you have for the listeners.
Gosh, yes, it's TonyJacobsen.com. That's with an EN for Jacobsen, just so everybody knows. It's Jacobsen. So you spell it right, you get to the right website. But yeah, final thoughts. It's really important to work on our mindset every single day. Whether you have a disability or not, that is where it all begins. That's where you start to overcome your challenges. That's where you start to view life in a new and powerful way. And that's where the energy will come to start living an unbreakable life. And we can all do it. We all have that possibility. And I think that anybody that wants to do it, that feels like they're stuck, they can definitely live the unbreakable life they deserve. And we all have that opportunity in life. So just think about that. Think about where you can think differently, and you're going to see your life change in a positive way.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. Spreading that unbreakable message. Be sure to go to TonyJacobsen.com. Check out his book. Check out everything he's up to. If you are somebody with a disability, or know somebody with a disability that wants to share their message, sign up for that class. Please be sure to follow, rate, review, share this episode to as many people as possible. If you have any guests or suggestion topics, cjackson102@cox.net is the best place to send them. As always, thank you for listening. And Tony, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your story.
Thank you for having me.
For more information on the Living the Dream podcast, visit www.djcurveball.com. Until next time, stay focused on living the dream.